So many people can't wait till school ends, can't wait till the summer holidays. What are you in a hurry to do? To stop learning? This is the only time in your life where your job was to learn. That was your job. That's all people expected of you. Now you're being cast forth, and I'm expecting that you're not saying to yourself, I'm done learning. Because if that's how you think and feel, you will slide back to the cave. Because everyone else who keeps learning will pass you by, and that's where you'll end up, even if you didn't think you were headed there. I just want to highlight a few things. I'm worried, really, about how much fuzzy thinking is going on in the world. Fuzzy thinking, people just not thinking straight. I reflect on a time with my sister. My sister is younger than I. I'm 4 years older. So I'm like a whole school ahead of her, right? So I'm graduating high school, she's entering high school. I'm graduating college, she's entering college. And so one time I said, so Lynn, where do you want to go have lunch today? Because I had some cash and and she said, well, what are my choices? And it was odd because I didn't realize until that moment that she was not yet capable of simply coming up with a fresh idea. Why? Because she'd spent her whole life taking multiple choice tests. So I ask a question, she wants choices in front of her to pick from. This would continue the whole life. And then I tested this with other people. People want choices. And I realized maybe it's hard to just think originally and come up with a fresh thought that the person who's offering the question hadn't thought up yet. Because I think somehow in our society we're hell-bent on the answer. The right answer. Because when it's the right answer, it's the right answer. And when it's the wrong answer, it's not the right answer. Consider this following example. Imagine you have a spelling bee, and you have to spell the word cat. Okay, so one student spells it C-A-T. Person got it right. The next person spells it K-A-T. That's wrong. You got that wrong, okay? Third person spells it XQW. Do you realize that is marked equally as wrong with the KAT? When you could argue that KAT is a better spelling for cat than CAT. Dictionaries know this because that's how they spell it phonetically. And so we've built a system for ourselves where there's an answer and everything else is not the answer, even when some answers are better than others. So our brains are absent the wiring capable of coming up with an original thought, or thought not previously considered, or thought between the ideas that are already laid on the table. What we're not valuing is knowledge as process rather than knowledge as an answer. In another example, if you're an employer and two candidates come up looking for a job, you're interviewing the two candidates and you say, as for part of this interview, I just want to ask you, what's the height of the spire on this building that we're in? And the candidate says, oh, I was an architect. I've majored in architecture for a while, and I memorized the heights of all the buildings on campus. I know. The height of that spire is 150 feet. In fact, 155 feet tall. Okay, turns out that's the right answer. That's the right answer. And the person came up with it in seconds. That person goes away, the next candidate walks in. Do you know the height of the spire on this building? The candidate says, no, but I'll be right back. Person runs outside, measures the length of the shadow of that spire on the ground, measures the length of his or her own shadow, ratios the height to the shadows, comes up with a number, runs back inside, it's about 150 feet. Who are you going to hire? I'm hiring the person who figured it out, even though it took that person longer, even though the person's answer is not as precise. I'm hiring that person because that person knows how to use the mind in a way not previously engaged. You realize when you know how to think, it empowers you far beyond those who know only what to think. So think of your graduation, think of this moment as the beginning of learning, not the end of learning. If anyone gives you a choice, say, don't even give me a choice, let me think up an answer all by myself. It's once been said that there's no greater pain to the human mind than the prospect of a new idea, because old ideas bring comfort. Well, I want every single one of you to lead a painful, discomfortable life. And in that pain and discomfort, you'll make discoveries that can transform this world in all the ways that it desperately needs. Thank you all for your time and attention.